Let's start with a hard truth that most people don't want to hear. Getting rich isn't nearly as complicated as people make it sound. People talk about wealth like it's a secret hidden behind expensive courses, exclusive circles, or impossible levels of intelligence. They convince themselves that successful people know something ordinary people never will. But that's rarely the truth. The real difference isn't intelligence, it isn't luck, and it isn't working the longest hours. The real difference is perspective. Most people spend their lives chasing money. Wealthy people spend their lives creating value. And those are two completely different games. Think about it. Millions of people wake up before sunrise every day. They work long hours. They come home exhausted. They sacrifice weekends. They give everything they have to their jobs. Yet many of them are still living paycheck to paycheck. If hard work alone created wealth, the hardest working people on earth would already be rich. They aren't. Hard work is important, but where you direct your effort matters far more than how many hours you work. Imagine two people who both have full-time jobs. The first person finishes work, goes home, watches videos, scrolls through social media, sleeps, and repeats the same routine tomorrow. The second person also works a full day, but every evening they spend 1 extra hour learning a valuable skill. They learn sales, marketing, writing, coding, design, investing, or they begin building something of their own. Nothing changes after 1 week. Nothing changes after 1 month. But after a few years, everything changes. The skills create opportunities. The opportunities create income. The income creates freedom. And freedom creates choices. That is how wealth begins. Most people underestimate the power of small daily improvements because they expect dramatic results overnight. But success rarely arrives all at once. It grows quietly while everyone else thinks nothing is happening. That's why consistency beats motivation every single time. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Comfort is expensive. It doesn't feel expensive today because the cost isn't immediate. Every day you delay learning. Every day you postpone your goals. Every day you tell yourself, I'll start next week. You're paying with something you'll never get back. Time. The problem is that comfort slowly becomes your identity. You begin believing that tomorrow will somehow be different, even though you're making the same decisions today. Years pass this way. 1 day becomes 1 month. 1 month becomes 1 year, and 1 year becomes a decade. Then people look back and wonder where all the time went. It didn't disappear. It was traded for comfort. The people who build wealth understand something different. They don't ask, how can I make more money this month? They ask, what can I build today that continues creating value tomorrow? That single question changes everything. Employees usually think in hours. Builders think in systems. Workers ask, how much can I earn today? Owners ask, what can I create today that keeps working long after I'm finished? That's the shift. Instead of selling only your time, you begin building assets. A business, a brand, a YouTube channel, a digital product, an investment, a skill that becomes more valuable every year. These things continue creating value long after today's work is over. Time doesn't. Every hour you spend is gone forever, which means your time is your most valuable asset. The question is, what are you building with it? If there's one thing that keeps more people poor than a lack of money, it's fear. Not fear of losing money, fear of looking foolish, fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of starting something that might not work. So people wait. They wait for the perfect idea, the perfect time, the perfect opportunity. But perfection never arrives. And while they're waiting, someone else starts with less experience, makes mistakes, learns faster, and keeps moving. Action beats perfection. Every single time. The people who build wealth aren't fearless. They simply refuse to let fear make their decisions. Another mistake most people make is believing that a job alone will create financial freedom. A job can provide stability. It can teach valuable skills. It can help you support yourself and your family. But if all your income depends on the hours you work, your earning potential will always have limits. That's why wealthy people focus on leverage. Leverage means finding ways for 1 hour of effort to create value many times over. A book can be sold thousands of times. A course can help people around the world. A business can serve customers every day. A YouTube video can be watched years after it's uploaded. The internet has made leverage available to almost everyone. You don't need permission to create. You don't need a famous last name. You don't need millions of dollars to begin. You need a skill that helps people and the courage to put it into the world. That's where many people stop, not because they can't create something valuable, but because they're afraid nobody will care. Here's the truth. Nobody notices you in the beginning, and that's okay. Every successful creator started with an audience of 0. Every business had its first customer. Every expert was once a beginner. The goal isn't to impress everyone. The goal is to improve every day. One video becomes 10. 10 become 100. One customer becomes 100 customers. Small actions, repeated consistently, create extraordinary results. Now let's talk about value. Money doesn't appear because you need it. Money appears because you've solved a problem for someone else. The bigger the problem you solve, the more valuable your work becomes. If you can save people time, teach them a skill, help them become healthier, help them earn more, or make their lives easier, people will gladly exchange money for that value. That's how business works. That's how careers grow. And that's how wealth is created. So stop asking, how can I make more money? Start asking, how can I become more valuable? Because when your value grows, your opportunities grow with it. The internet rewards people who create, not people who only consume. Every hour spent learning, building, writing, designing, practicing, or creating is an investment in your future. Every hour spent endlessly scrolling, complaining, or waiting is an investment too. The difference is that one investment pays you back, the other doesn't. At the end of the day, success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about becoming slightly better than you were yesterday, then repeating that process again and again and again. Most people believe that becoming rich is the finish line. It isn't. Money is only a tool. What people are really searching for is freedom. The freedom to decide how they spend their time. The freedom to choose who they work with. The freedom to say no without fear. The freedom to wake up every morning knowing their life belongs to them. That's what wealth can buy. Not happiness, not purpose, but choices. And choices are one of the most valuable things a person can have. Here's something else that many people never think about. Making money and keeping money are two completely different skills. Some people earn a fortune and lose it just as quickly. Why? Because they spend their money trying to impress people they don't even know. They buy things to look successful instead of building a future that actually is successful. The truly wealthy think differently. Instead of asking, what can I buy? They ask, what can I own? Assets, businesses, investments, brands, skills, things that continue creating value long after today is over. Every dollar they save and invest becomes another worker helping them build a stronger future. That's why financial discipline matters just as much as financial ambition. But none of this matters if you never begin. You can watch hundreds of motivational videos, read dozens of books, listen to podcasts every day, and still stay exactly where you are, because knowledge without action changes nothing. Your future isn't built by what you know. It's built by what you do consistently. So start small, learn one valuable skill, read every day, save before you spend. Invest in yourself. Create something that didn't exist yesterday. Keep improving even when nobody is watching. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's success. Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. If you're moving forward, you're already winning. Remember this. The people you admire didn't become successful because they waited for the perfect moment. They became successful because they started before they felt ready. They failed, they learned, they adapted, and they refused to quit. The truth about getting rich was never hidden. It has always been right in front of us. Create more value than you consume. Own more than you owe. Invest more than you spend. Keep learning. Keep building. Keep improving. Day after day. Year after year. Success isn't created by one massive decision. It's created by hundreds of small decisions made when nobody is paying attention. So ask yourself one final question. A year from today, will you still be watching other people build the life you want? Or will you finally start building your own? The choice has always been yours. Your story doesn't change when life becomes easier. It changes the moment you decide to become better. So start today, not tomorrow, not next Monday. Today, because every day you wait is another day someone else is building the future you could have had. The world doesn't need more people who only dream. It needs more people who create, more people who build, more people who take action. Your future is waiting. The only question is, are you ready to build it?